My thoughts on Mortal Kombat X getting canceled for the previous gen consoles. Um, I know smoking's bad for me. I need to quit, but I can't. Alright, here's my thoughts on it. It's a good thing. Not necessarily from, the standpoint of the consumer, but at the same time it is good for from the standpoint of the consumer. Up until February, I was on previous gen consoles. As a matter of fact, Mortal Kombat X and Arkham Knight were the only reasons that I got a next-gen console. I was perfectly happy still with my PlayStation 3. Sorry, my daughter is right behind me, and trying not to wake her up at the same time make this video. But here's the thing. With Mortal Kombat X, there was so much implemented into it that required a lot more space than the Blu-ray discs for PlayStation 3 or the DVDs for the Xbox 360 could provide. I probably just messed that up because I don't think they're on Blu-rays, but the new gen system or consoles, I don't know. That's the only thing I can actually think of, aside from, the systems themselves not being able to produce the amount of power required. Now, looking at it, you could remove several of the features in Mortal Kombat X, make it a pretty much copy and paste with different characters of Mortal Kombat 9. But here's the thing. NetherRealm and, I think it was more WB, didn't want to do that. I know all about their PC ports. I've seen reviews about their PC ports, and I know that they're just complete garbage. But here's the thing. If they care enough to not do a copy and paste for you guys, the previous gen console owners, that says a lot about them, in my opinion, because if you look at sports games, all that, they're not getting the same game that next-gen consoles are. They're getting a copy and paste of last year's game with updated rosters. So, I mean, it's a good thing, but at the same time, it's still really, really crappy. And I hate that it happened because I know a lot of people who are still on last gen. But it's hard to explain. I saw Review Tech USA talking about it, and he brought something up that I didn't even think of because, I'm 26, so that means this year in November makes 10 years that the Xbox 360 came out. Now, before that, I didn't even think about, PlayStation 2 only being out 5 years. You got 10 years out of the Xbox 360, nearly 10 years out of the PlayStation 3. The PlayStation 1 was out maybe 6 years before they really quit production on major games. So, I mean, you got double the lifespan of 360 and PlayStation 3 games. And I didn't even think about that until Review Tech USA said something. Like I said, I was 16 when the Xbox 360 came out. So that's been 10 years of my life has been Xbox 360, PlayStation 3. While I grew up on Sega Genesis and Nintendo, I've been there from the Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo age up to now. And granted, I don't really remember much of those early days. But you're probably asking what's that got to do with any of this. It was nothing back in those days to, okay, it's time to upgrade the console, because if I don't upgrade my console now, all I'm going to get is sports games. And, back in those days, I hated sports games, and still to this day, I can't stand playing many sports games. I'll get the craving to play some basketball, or I'll play NCAA. I don't play NFL. But still, back in those days, I didn't like it. So I had to either upgrade the console or get stuck with playing games that came out years before or months, whatever, The fact that I think up until sometime next year, Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 are supposed to be getting AAA titles is amazing. And it shows how far we've come technologically. So, that's just my thoughts on it. Y'all have a good one.